He pauses from the writing and glances over at her as she sleeps. She has kicked the blankets down to her feet again, a ritual they both do throughout the night, hence the pile of blankets always on the floor. As he gets up to cover her again, he remembers one of their conversations over the phone. You know what I keep dreaming of? She was at a party and he could hear the campfires popping in the background. Everyone was asleep and she had called him out of the blue. What is that, love? Sorry. He heard her sigh. She loved when he called her things like that. I dream of us together, and I can't wait for us to sleep next to one another. Just sleep. And when we do, you know how I want it to be? How is that? He asked with a smile on his face he couldn't wipe off even if he wanted to. The first time I want you to be behind me, your left arm underneath my hand, my left hand stretched out holding yours. Your other hand is wrapped around me, cupping your breast. And then I put my hand on yours, and we hold one another till we fall asleep. And we sleep a peaceful sleep together, something I haven't done in a long time. He let out a deep sigh of his own. That sounds wonderful. I can't remember the last time I had a peaceful sleep. The fibromyalgia makes me toss and turn all night. She let out a small laugh. I don't know how long we will stay in that position. I toss and turn all night as well. Do you get hot in the night? Oh God, it's like menopause on the mattress, he said, laughing. I have to have a big pile of blankets on the bed because I keep kicking them off of me and then scramble to find them in my sleep when I get cold. It is a dance I do all night. He paused for a second. Then laughing, he said, so when one of us has to toss or turn, the other one can just go with it. We move, then hold each other until the other one has to move. Then we do it again. It will be like a tossy-turny snuggle dance that we can master. She let out a deep laugh that made his heart warm and smile. Masters of the tossy-turny snuggle dance. She was laughing just as hard as he was now. Oh my God, yes, I want that. He walked over, pulled the blanket back up to her shoulders, kissing each one as he did. Then kissing her on the head and cheek, he whispered, my ocean, my river, she mumbled back and smiled, not really awake, but answering from her dreams. He grabbed his cup from the window seat and went to the kitchen for a refill. He glanced over at the kitchen counter, and there was his old canvas book bag crammed full of papers, notes, type papers, and journals. It was his first bag he had at college. Over the years, it grew into his shit I need to finish but hurts too much to do it, so I am just going to hide it in here bag. That was where Songs from the Hourglass had rested for the last year. He had tucked it away inside an old cedar chest, along with his great-grandmother's incredibly heavy and comfortably hand-knitted quilt. She must have pulled the bag out when she grabbed Songs from the Hourglass, but forgot to bring it up. He could picture her trying to carry the glasses, bottle of wine, the book, and bag all at once. Opting for the glasses and the wine, she probably put the bag on the counter, thinking she would come back and get it. He debated whether he should put the bag in the closet, where it was, or take it upstairs. Knowing she would just go get the book bag and ask him what was it, he decided to cut out the middleman and take the bag to the studio. He was asleep on the floor when he felt a gentle hand caressing his cheek, and he opened his eyes to see her sitting next to him. Hey, she whispered as she kissed his lips. Hey, back, he replied and wrapped his arms around her. You have been busy, she said, falling onto his chest and looking at the piles of papers. Sorry, I meant to come back to bed. I guess I didn't make it. It's starting to rain. She grabbed the stack of papers closest to her. Maybe a good day to start a fire and sit around and read, write, and snuggle, huh? He kissed her on the head, nose, lips, and put his head on hers. We can do that. Boy stories? She asked, sitting up and grabbing the first stack of papers she could reach. Didn't work on that, sorry. She looked over at the backpack. Are these from that bag I grabbed out of the closet? Oh, yeah, that, he said with an exasperating sigh. That would be my blessing and my curse. She waited for him to keep going, but he didn't say anything. Just traced his fingers through her hair and stared out the window at the rain. And? She asked gently. I wrote the first boy story my freshman year in college. It basically kick-started my writing career. And for the next 20 years, I've tried to write and finish the boy stories to no avail. They just hurt too much, so I put them away and said I wasn't going to finish it. But somewhere in the back of my mind, it is still there, waiting to be finished. My own personal albatross. She sat up and smiled. Well, you are just full of surprises, aren't you? Can I read it? Well, you pulled it out of the closet, he said with a nervous laugh. Things happen how they're supposed to happen. She noticed he paused for a second, but then he said, You have the freedom of the wind, my love. What if you fix breakfast, start the fire, and I start reading? She asked. I can do that. He got up and started to head downstairs. I don't like being in the room when you read my work for the first time anyway. I get too nervous. Is it in any order? What should I start with first? She asked as she started to look at the piles of papers in front of her. He handed her one titled Keeper of the Magic. Well, you might as well start with the one that launched the career. I honestly don't have an order for them yet. Well, I have a beginning, but just go there. That is a good place to start. He kissed her again and headed down to the kitchen. She began to read.